And that's the second time. Well, first time he wasn't here.
I wish I played golf.
Second time he wasn't here. Now you don't I don't know about the Wisconsin country. I don't know. They also get to use the duck. That's what I told him, and I said, he got elected.
Of course he is. Of course he is. Because he didn't. Yeah, oh, absolutely.
We'll call at 9 o'clock and call the meeting to order. Shall we stand?
Sure.
Going to do the moment of silence again, please. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Monique has been testing on whether or not we're really using her, and she's been gone last meeting and yesterday, so she's trying to catch up, and we're trying to accept the fact that we know much less than we thought we did. Going back to I had not established a quorum. Let's do that. Do we have one?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I'm a little bit concerned because we only have one on there. I'll turn it over to you for the minutes.
I would make a motion that we approve the minutes for both the July board meeting and the August board meeting.
A second?
A second.
Thank you.
Any questions, corrections, changes?
There are a couple of typos, and that's about it for me. How about you?
I have nothing.
Okay. Anybody else?
No.
All right, all in favor? No opposed? Okay.
The secretary's report is similar to last month, nothing. Except we did receive a couple of letters from members, but they involve disputes with individual members too, that will be dealt with in a closed session to protect their privacy on the issue. And other than that, there's nothing else. Thank you.
I'd like to remind everyone that we lost one of our longtime employees this past month, Viva Walker. She worked here for nearly 20 years, and we're going to miss her being around. That's all I had. Well, I have some more, but it'll be later. Do we have a treasurer's report?
We do. For bank balances first, as of Wednesday, September 13th, 2017, for the Del Rio banks, Texas Community Credit Card, $20,149.86. For Texas Community Checking, $89,272.69. Texas Community Money Market, $2,564.10. Brackettville Bank and Trust, General Fund, $61,430.28. Payroll, $4,214.60. Restricted Fund, $438,954.17. And Los Morris, $24,761.82 for a subtotal of $641,347.52. Fort Clark Historical Building Damage Preservation Fund, $18,645.53. Fort Clark Hail Damage Repair Fund, $78,750.66, for a total of $738,743.71. And we do not have the later reconciled bank balances because Monique was attending a work-related conference. For bank transfers, Bank and Trust Los Morris, $0 for operating expense. Texas Community Checking, $90,000 for operating expense. This is estimated, Bank and Trust Payroll, $97,000. Bank and Trust Restricted, $0 for operating expense for an August 2017 estimated of $187,000. August 2017 actual, Bank and Trust Los Morris, $0 operating expense. Texas Community Checking, $66,483.62 operating expense. Bank and Trust Payroll, $99,475. Bank and Trust Restricted, $0 for operating expense for an actual August 2017 of $165,958.62. September 2016 actual, Bank and Trust Los Morris, $0 operating expense. Texas Community Checking, $63,425 for operating expense. Bank and Trust Payroll, $65,000. Bank and Trust Restricted, $0. Total $128,425. September estimated 2017, Bank and Trust Los Morris operating expense. Texas Community Checking, $75,000 operating expense. Bank and Trust Payroll, $68,000. Bank and Trust Restricted, $0 operating expense for $143,000. And that concludes Treasurer's Report. And I move that the Treasurer's Report be approved.
Second.
We have a motion with a second. All in favor? Any questions? All in favor? Was there something? We have an executive officer's report.
Yes, ma'am, just a brief one.
I was reflecting over the past year. I noticed in the Articles of Incorporation, and reviewed them once again, and found that the primary founding purpose of Fort Park Springs Association is, and I quote, to provide social and recreational facilities and to perform such other functions necessary to carry on the operation of a private recreational association. And I was thinking back over the past year as to how maybe we have responded to that. I recall that we had the opening of Dickman Lounge, which was a very big to do, and the opening of a very popular and potentially viable restaurant, which is, I think, a first. We saw the opening of the visitor center and the restoration of the old Quarry Amphitheater. We initiated family fun days. We cooperated with the community council and also the Old Quarry Society to have to provide free, family-friendly movie nights. We facilitated the ghostly tours and haunted house, also in cooperation with the community council and the Old Quarry Society. We built a new 9-hole disc golf course and hosted the first annual golf tournament. We improved the children's swim park playground, and we also installed a competition-level volleyball court. We standardized the golf course maintenance program. We expanded the wildlife management program. We sponsored a 4th of July celebration, hosted a major birding event, sponsored also the 4-H livestock show, the Texas AgriLife cooking camp, and made some significant improvements to the RV park. All in all, as I reflected, I thought it's been a heck of a busy year, and we have a wonderful staff who dedicates themselves to this kind of work, to provide the kind of recreational services to the fort while trying to maintain all the other things that have to be maintained. So I thought, this being the last meeting of the current fiscal year, I thought it was a good idea just to kind of reflect and think of the things that are taking place and the things that are still happening on the fort. That's what I have.
That's your report?
Yes.
Any questions?
I just have a couple of comments. Those are many commendable things, and you're absolutely right. The original Articles of Incorporation did establish this organization as a recreational association. However, that was changed. There was the declarations amended and changed it to an HOA, Homeowners Association. And so we're not really a recreational association.
I was not making any pronouncement or changing. I was simply reflecting back on the original purposes.
No, I understand that, Richard. I just wanted to make that clear that it's not necessarily our primary purpose to provide recreation.
Right.
Our primary
Some
purpose
may
is
misunderstand.
a homeowner. Thank you.
I'd like to point out one of the changes that was made in the deer harvest. We think of deer harvest as only shooting deer, but we do have the catch and release that's going on now where we make money. The deer aren't killed, which is kind of good. And if there's something that I'm missing about deer dying, don't tell me. Okay. I have to respond to what you just said. I think we are still a recreation, along with homeowners association. I think we still have to provide recreation for our people. And by the way, as long as we're complimenting people, I think this board works together extremely well. And I don't get a chance to compliment them that often, so I'm doing it now. Okay, now I'm gonna mess up your life again. You got any more questions?
Thank you, maybe. You may think that, but I could not possibly comment on it.
Yes, I'm coming after you too. No, just kidding. On the committee reports, you'll notice some things are missing. That was more my doing than anybody's. So when we get to the R's, I guess, I will explain where I was going with this. But if we could keep the committee reports quick and short, it would be appreciated. Okay? Airport.
We have nothing significant to report.
At all?
Nothing significant.
You have some insignificant things?
Standard mowing.
Thank you. Okay. Architectural?
This past month, we approved 13 permits, thank you. I had it blocked there. 3 of them we tabled because we needed a little more information. And then that following week, we got what we needed, and they were approved and on their way.
Great. It's good to hear. You said 21? How
No. 13.
13. I think I got the 21 from last time, didn't I? Sorry.
That's all right, it's early.
I don't believe there's a finance advisor, right?
No, just that the meeting is October 10th, and then we will have a report after that.
And you still have that survey that you're doing.
We are working on putting the survey together for the committee that they've asked for it, and it's gone through. The committee's added their ideas, staff has added theirs, and now it's in the hands of the board. I've gotten one back from Bill, and the board will put their input. Then on the 10th, all of that will be given to the finance committee, and they will revise the survey. And then it will be placed in various places on the fort, the office, golf course, adult center, wherever people congregate. It's a voluntary survey, and the survey is going to be asking for members' priorities as to what they think is important for the association to accomplish, to create, to stop, whatever. That will be coming out sometime after the Finance Committee meets on the 10th of October. I've already sent them copies of the calculations so they can review whether a $1 increase in assessment is appropriate, and we'll also be sending them the copy of the budget once it's approved by the board. So they'll have a lot on their plate in October, and then we'll have a report at the October board meeting.
Thank you. And then we stay with you for golf, is that right?
Yeah. I guess that's true. Debbie is taking some much needed vacation time. This will be very brief. We actually did pretty well. Members that played in 2017 were 558. In 2016, it was 422. So that was an increase of 136 members playing. Guests in 2017 for this month, we had 118. 2016, at the same period of time, we had 87, which is an increase in 31. And
Excuse
guests,
me, are we talking about August only?
we're talking about August.
Okay,
September
thank
figures
you.
aren't in, I'm sorry. Which is another increase. And tournament players, we had 15 tournament players. This time last year, we had none. So we had an increase this year over last year's same period, the month of August, of 182, which is, considering the heat and the drought and everything else, that's a pretty nice increase. And to repeat, we're watering greens and tee boxes because Mud has informed us their ponds are empty. And so that will remain until winter Texans return and start filling up their showers and bathtubs and dishwashers and so forth. So, and rain. So please, if you have any connection to rain, please pray or wish for it. We have the Happy Cervantes tournament coming up on October 7th. It'll be one-day tournament this year. It's one of our 2 major tournaments. The Church Alliance tournament is scheduled for November 4th, which is also a big tournament because it's a fundraiser for Church Alliance. And the Halloween tournament, which is strictly for fun, is on October 28th. That's our golf report.
Thank you. Is there a preservation report?
Preservation Committee approved the,
You're standing right in front of the camera. You might want to come up here. A good picture of your back.
sorry about that, better looking than my face.
No comment on that.
The Preservation Committee approved the drainage problem over in the commissary building. The contract has been let, and I noticed in the minutes that the board approved us letting out that contract, and that's all we got right now.
That's considerable. That getting that drain fixed will be saving the Seminole Hall, right?
Well, that was for the commissary.
Excuse me, that's what I meant. I'm old, give me a break. The recycling center.
Since the last meeting, we've had a regular pickup. We sent a truckload of mixed material.
I can't hear you, so it'll be hard to pick up. Sorry.
That's the first time in my life I've been accused of that.
Maybe my hearing is going. I thought it was pretty good.
I can't help it. It really. Anyway, recycling sent a load of mixed goods about 2.5 weeks ago. And we have a load of cardboard. Has it gone, Bill?
Yep.
Ah! The truck was half loaded 2 weeks ago during Hurricane Irma. The mill was closed. Why the truck dispatcher decided to send a truck to go to a place they couldn't get to, we haven't figured out. But poor maintenance had the truck half loaded when they stopped them and told them to unload and wait a week. What we are crossing our fingers for, the price of cardboard at that time was $200 a ton. And we had a full truck. Hopefully the price did not tank because of the storms, because we're going to get paid on the September price, not the August price. Other than that, it looks good up there. I have 4 new volunteers, for which I am dancing on the moon. Anybody else who wants to volunteer, we can still use more help to spread out the interval for people a little more. So you're welcome. It's 2 hours a month maximum. If we get enough, maybe it'll be every other month. But that's what's going on at recycling.
Okay, now I'm going to rock your world a little. Recycling. We have committees in all of these things that have been appointed by the board, except for recycling and a couple others I'm going to mention. I think it would make your life better if you would make that a, what is it? It starts with an R. Resolution, thank you. Do you do this often? It's really good. A resolution concerning that we could take to the courthouse, whatever you do there. Record, yes.
Or there was a recycling committee
We couldn't,
originally.
yeah, I know there was a committee,
I don't
but
know that it was ever finalized by the board, but you're on it.
I know I'm on it, but I can't serve while I'm on the board. I just want to make sure I have a place to go when I get off the board.
I'll have you back with those signs.
Okay, if we also need, if you have them, we also need the reasons for being. That'll be easy to do if you have them. You probably have them all somewhere, but it just never was recorded. On the RV park, we've been reading the manager's report. And we're going to do it again today because Bill says he'll read it.
I did.
You did. Make these assignments, I expect you to carry them. I think that was it, maybe. It's short.
I've got it someplace.
I have it in your hand.
Okay, the RV dated September 16th. Campers World, tent camping is almost at a stop this time of year. The RV park itself had a good August compared to past years. They had a total of 471 RVers compared to 769 this year. I'm not sure if I understand what that means, but anyway.
We increased by over 300. Because
Oh,
of the
okay, okay. We got 20 RVers from the Harvey storm, mostly from Corpus Christi and the Rockport area. Basically, most of them left after the storm hit, but there were a couple that stayed around for about a month. The painting is finished. The golf court is running, and they're doing great at the RV park, so I guess the people are happy. And thanks to Mr. Lawrence and Philip Garcia for their help to get things up and running for the winter season. Signed, Diana Stewart.
Okay. What I would like to do in the future with the RV park is to get a committee that reports to the board. It can be any kind they want, but they do such good things, and I think we often don't give them the credit they need. And it would also be a way of making us support them better. You have your hand up.
Yeah, they do have an RV committee, but it doesn't meet during the summer. When the winter Texas gets back in, they have an RV meeting.
No, I'm not arguing with that. What I'm saying is they too don't have a resolution or a record. Yeah, and we want them to be official. If we don't have them be official, it'd be like the airport. They would report when somebody happened to be there. Now we have a committee, and we're watching you, you know. There's two sides to this. Okay. Recreation, we bring up constantly, and she's an employee. I'm going to ask her if she's got something, but I'm at the moment talking about whether or not we want a committee, a recreation committee. And it might be something that Carol Ann could use. So, Carol Ann, do you have something to report?
I actually do have a few things. Fort Clark is partnering with the First Baptist Church, and we will be having a pumpkin patch at Rendezvous Park.
You're just so quiet today.
I'll try. We're going to be having a pumpkin patch the last 2 weeks of October at Rendezvous Park. We'll be open 7 days a week, 8 hours a day, so now you have a spot to come buy your pumpkins. In conjunction with the Community Council Ghostly Tours, we're going to be having fall festivals at Rendezvous Park at the Pumpkin Patch on Saturday the 21st and Saturday the 28th. There'll be arts and crafts, food vendors, outdoor children games, and bouncy castles. They will be open to the public. I am looking for arts and craft vendors if anybody is interested. In November, at their request, we're partnering with the Fort Clark Arts Council for their annual art show at the Service Club, and we will be adding craft vendors outside in front of the Service Club, along with food trucks and other fun things. I will let Chuck talk about bingo at Shafter Hall, but we are also looking at establishing a maker's market, a craft market in Shafter Hall for part of it that would be open Thursday through Saturday, maybe Sunday, providing year-round shopping. And I have somebody seriously interested in opening an ice cream parlor in Shafter Hall as well. My heart beats faster. Upcoming movies for the Fort. Saturday, October 7th is going to be Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Sunday, October 29th, we're going to do a double feature at 2 and at 5 p.m. of Hotel Transylvania, 1 and 2, and then on November 11th will be Cars 3. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 and Cars 3 have been sponsored by Melissa Davis Realty. And that's all I have.
Where are you having those?
The Post Theater. They'll be back in the theater.
I'm pointing in the wrong direction. But, Carol Ann,
Ma'am?
would a committee be helpful to you? I think the committee died. We do have, those people do have the, tell me the word again. Starts with an R. Resolution. They do have it. And you could have a committee, but
People right now stop in the office with ideas and thoughts, and that's working for me now.
So
I'm okay with that.
we can take that off the list, or would
Yes.
you like it left?
No, take it off. Somebody needs to say something what's going on with recreation. As far as the formal
Okay,
establishment.
then I'll
you
put
know.
you with the RV park and the motel that I'm gonna mention in a minute.
Okay.
Thank you. We have sort of ignored the stables. That doesn't mean that the board isn't pretty interested, because we just replaced all of the termite-ridden posts and everything. So we have been paying attention to it, but we have ignored the fact that it is an organization and really should be an organization of the board. So we're working on that. As soon as they feel like it's not that we're not after them, that I think they'll come along with us. But all of those need a resolution. Now, we have some good things going on with our RV report always, but we also have a motel report that we never give you. We have it in our packet, and either we read it to you, or we give you copies, or we make Chata show up. I'm going with read it to you. Because we do good business there. During the summer, we've had a number of reunions, and it's been good. So, moving right along.
I have something more, please.
Absolutely.
I wonder if Carol Ann could provide the board with a written list of all these upcoming events and changes. It was quite a bit, and I didn't get it all. Is that possible? Maybe she just make a copy for the board members?
She's gone, and we're going to ask. Okay. Sure. Did I get through all of that? Is there now a community council report? Oh, excuse me. Left out the bylaw. We need to set a workshop with you. It really just. Yeah, it's my feeling. It would be an open meeting with anyone who wants to be there, but the first one would be one where we just talk to each other. How many are on your committee?
There's 6.
And are all of them year-round, or do we have some that are...
No, they're all year round. They're all
Okay.
year round.
Well, even if they weren't, we could go ahead. I think still one in September, but not this coming week. The following week, can we discuss later? And we'll give notice, and members can attend and listen.
The week of the 25th?
That was my thinking.
You're saying September 25th?
No, the week of the 25th.
Week of September 25th.
And-
Sometime during that week.
I would like to come up with a date for the board, and so, because we're gonna sit here and do this we'll do a date for the board and see if that works out for you. During that
I'm leaving
week,
the 28th through, but there's other members that will be.
say again?
I'm leaving on the 28th, but there are other members that will be here.
Well, if that's the week of the 25th, we can get you before you go.
Correct. Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday.
There you go.
26th or 27th.
Right.
Tuesday,
We'll
preferably.
get it. Okay. We have a community council. There you are.
Once again, acting president. Actually, we've had a very, very busy opening meeting for this year. I have a number of things to cover, but I will try to cover them as rapidly as possible. But first of all, and I know that this is going to break some people's heart, but due to a lack of volunteers, there will be no Fort Clark Days for 2018. However, we are asking that the living historians keep our dates open for 2019, just in case we can restart in 2019. And a good point on that is that there are several people who have already stepped up to say, you know, maybe we can help. So,
Is that absolute? Is that what you're saying?
yeah,
No Fort Clark Days?
I can't see how it can happen now, because in order to get the corporate sponsors, which we have to have in order to get the living historians here, those letters should have gone out way prior to this, so that they could have been built into this year's or next year's budget. So if we can get volunteers, when we get volunteers, they're busy right now, but they'll be available later. 19's looking pretty good. Okay? But for 18, I can't see how it's going to happen.
That is disappointing.
Yes, it is, very.
I think our volunteers are getting worn out. We need to go out and find some new volunteers.
We're coming to that, okay?
All right.
Okay. Let me see. The second item here is that the Community Council, in partnership with the Drama Club for the high school, have a very special and spooky event planned for this year. The commissary will show off its collection of ghosts and ghouls. So that should be exciting. Community Council hopes to repurpose itself. This is where we're coming to the volunteers. Community Council hopes to repurpose itself with a new direction, being one of keeping and presenting a current, that is like quarterly, updated package of clubs and individuals that offer services to the membership. Volunteerism is a very big part of this package, but posting also for pay services, small amounts only. Good examples of this would be like music lessons, hairdressers, landscaping services, things like that, would also be on that list of things to happen. And we are currently asking for as many people that would like to do something to sign up as volunteers. Our next meeting, the October meeting, which will be held on the second Saturday of October. Right, we're right. You're right, we did. I'm sorry. To the 7th, to the first Saturday, right, okay. Moved it to the first Saturday of October. Thank you for pointing that out. We would like to, for as many people that have the talents that they would like to share, and it doesn't make any difference what kind of talent it is. I mean, you know, it's like, if you're a really good weed whacker, we can use you. You know, there's just all kinds of things. A little cooking, you know, if someone in the community is really down on their luck, we hope to post via social media, you know, and a bulletin out here in the bugle box, a number that you can call and say, hey, you know, I'm bedridden for the next 2 or 3 days. Do you have somebody that could come help me with my cooking or something, cook a meal for me. I just all kinds of things. We live in heaven. Honestly, we do. This is heaven. When I came here, I said, this is heaven. But then the longer I live here, I keep having these old, long-time residents saying, well, those angels flew away. All of the volunteers have flown away. Well, it's time for us to invite the angels back.
Well, part of it is we got old. I mean, when I got here 11 years ago, I dug into everything, and now, I'm tired. I think I'm not the only one.
I understand that, but then we also have a growing number of younger people coming onto the fort, and so if we kind of look at things to do in the evenings or on weekends when they might be off, then maybe if we adjust our times, maybe we can draw the younger people in. And we have a number of younger people who have already stepped up and said, hey, I can do this or I can do that. Okay?
You did mention picking up the clutter that's all over the grounds.
Say again?
Picking up trash.
Oh, yeah, well, that also. It's like if you walk the trails, take a garbage bag with you and one of those little grabby things, pop on in. If you like to use loppers, walk along the trails and lop off those limbs that are scratching the top of people's golf carts or bumping them on the head, whichever. There's lots of things that people can do.
We do it.
And if we all work together, if everybody does just a little bit, it becomes no burden at all to anyone. And I'm not trying to shut people out.
Chuck,
I don't just want to subtract.
I'd like to point out to you that everybody here is one of those people.
Yes.
And we need to get the other people to come. Of course, when the winter Texans come, it'll help.
Well, see, that's another point. Why do we rely upon the winter Texans to do, while they're here, what we should be doing all year long?
It's true.
Well,
it is too hot.
It is too hot, I agree with that. but anyway, there are things that we can do, So, moving on. Let's see. Okay. We are entering into an agreement to show 15 movies per year with the understanding that the port can pick up the deal if we don't have the funds or the sponsors in order to complete it. Now, the reason that this is a good deal is because we get a little bit more than a 33% discount on each movie that we show if we do this. Now, Community Council is pretty convinced that they, through their concession sales, will be able to do it. But if for some reason we can't, we're hoping that the fort can pick up one or two movies. Actually, probably private sponsors will probably pick it up, but then that's okay.
Are these in addition to the movies that they're already showing?
No. This is the movies that they are already doing. See, right now they're paying $175 per movie. Well, actually, that's coming out of Community Council funds. They're paying $175 per movie. But with this agreement, if we agree to show 15 movies throughout the year, we're only going to pay $110 for each indoor movie. Now, the outdoor movies are slightly more expensive, but we're still making a deal on them too. So, I mean, it really is a good movie. And it's good for the fort, especially if we're considering ourselves, we have to provide recreation for ourselves, but it also is a good link to the community, which is something that we have been kind of negligent on for many, many years prior to this one. So, I think it's a good deal. Okay, and bingo will restart with the fort manning it, and the proceeds after expenses will be going into Community Council's 501c3 for educational purposes. So those will be designated funds coming, that are the profits out of that.
Is that possible, Monique? We had a problem when we tried to re-up Do you remember what it was?
No, community council chose not to suspend the license, so the license basically expired and we never renewed. That's all.
So we may have trouble getting it.
We shouldn't.
Okay.
We shouldn't. We didn't do anything wrong. We didn't have any mishaps with our paperwork or reports, so.
I know, but we've had problems before.
Well,
Yeah.
it's a matter
Okay.
of people running it.
I
that's all.
understand.
Yeah, the 501s are actually, you know, as long as your funds are going to charitable or educational purposes.
That wasn't the problem. She and I had some problems when it dropped.
Oh.
I was hoping we could keep the license even though we weren't doing it, and something else happened, so.
Okay, the problem with keeping the license in a situation like that is that you have to have
didn't.
someone that has been trained.
I didn't ask you for the.
Oh, okay.
I know what the problem was, but
Okay.
I'm telling you that we did lose it that way, okay?
Okay,
You're describing the problem, but there's no point.
okay. Okay, we need to work out the details. Still, at our next meeting, we'll kind of revisit this little item here, but we have agreed to offer the concession at the movies to on a 50-50 deal with any group that would like to partner with us in order to take the profits from that. We're giving preference to youth groups, like Boy Scouts 4-H, you know. In other words, we're trying to help young people. Okay? The Historical Society and Community Council, I'm kind of really excited about this one too. The Historical Society and Community Council are asking for sponsors for trail signs. We need 2 signs per trail. Those signs cost about $225 each, and they will look an awful lot like the historical signs that the Historical Society has already placed around the fort. And they will identify the backcountry trails for birders and guests that come on, or new people that come on, and we will have little maps that are color-coded and everything that will go with the markers, the trail markers. I think again, that's just something else to increase the enjoyment of our population, especially the newcomers and the guests that happen to come onto the fort. And kind of in conjunction with that, we are hoping to put together, I don't know how you call it, a booklet, you know, like we have in the motel. But we want to include the list of people, individuals that offer services to our members. We want to include the contact information for special services. We want to include all the clubs and organizations and the contact people, their meeting dates, times, and places. In other words, we want to provide a comprehensive, updated message, both in the Bugle box and via social media for the younger people, since they only read the electronic stuff and we only read the printed stuff, so that's the reason we have to do 2 of them.
Speak for yourself, Chuck.
Okay. Anyway, we're hoping to put together a whole package here that will make our community more united and more inclusive for everyone.
And we really could put it on the Fort Clark website too.
Yes, absolutely.
Keep that in mind.
Okay. Now it's down. We did not request people that had concerns necessarily, but we received a few anyway, and so I will address those now. Someone who did not want to give their name said that there are an awful lot of roadside signs down, like, you know, stop signs and yield signs, and I don't know, there's a few of them, I've noticed them myself, but I didn't think that there was that enough concern there, which is, in other words, they're asking maintenance to drive around and look for signs that have fallen and put them back like they're supposed to be. They also said that there was trouble around the walking track with weeds, that maybe those needed to be mowed more.
Are you sure those aren't wildflowers?
I'm gonna jump in on that one. I walk that track probably on average 3 or 4 times a week. There isn't a weed over there that is worthy of the name.
You really are quiet today. Would you say that again because it sounded
I
good?
said there isn't a weed around the walking track, the area that people are walking, worthy of the name. The tallest thing there is maybe like this.
And I agree with you. I walk by there on my walks every day, and I have seen nothing wrong with it. But I'm reporting the complaint.
But those wildflowers are getting tall, aren't they?
Some of them are blooming again.
Yep.
Fortunately, we got the water back on there and a good deep soak, and they perked right up and started to bloom. Because I was there last night about 7:30.
Good. And the last one is this person also requested more street lights along Fort Clark Road. Personally, I prefer us to remain a dark county so that we can enjoy our stars.
Amen.
I need to.
Amen.
Yeah. We don't need any more streetlights out there.
I agree, but I wanted to report the concern.
You can put one in your yard. It doesn't cost that much.
Well, that's
Sure does make it
Actually-
difficult to see stars.
Actually, I have turned off all of the outside lights on my properties. Okay. Yeah, are there any questions? Yes, ma'am.
The lines at the Post Theater.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That is a biggie out
Thanks to
there.
maintenance.
Yes, thanks to maintenance, they have replaced all the lights around the rooms on the post.
Yes, and
When that's turned
it's
on,
amazing what the difference is going to be. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank them. Anyone sees Philip, thank them.
Hi, I have a question. So instead of, since you said there's no Fort Clark days, is there going to be something else in lieu of? Because I know that the base looks forward to Fort Clark days. The homeschool co-op sends their entire school and they plan around the historic part of that. So I was just curious if there's a plan for anything.
And everyone does, but I honestly I can't see how we can do a Fort Clark Days either with or without vendors. We have to have the funds. We have what, $3,500 set aside to restart each year, so we have those monies available, but that's not enough to bring the living historians in, you know? We might be able to bring a handful, but then that would be it. It's, you know, I can't see anything major happening.
Okay, I think you explained it well, and maybe there'll be something that Carol Ann can come up with in lieu of that, but at the moment, let's let it go, okay? Thank you.
Any other questions? That's it? Thank you.
Okay. We are required by our bylaws to appoint a search and certification committee for the elections that will be held in this, after the first of the year. How's that? We have one volunteer that I know about, and that's Mr. Diller. Anybody else volunteering for that? All right. We have Judy. We have
Perennial.
Garland.
Good, you know what to do then.
I do. Pretty soon I'll do it in my sleep.
Anybody else? I'm not saying this is the end of the committee. It's just that you can add members later, but we need to appoint some now.
Actually, the bylaws require 5 members and to be appointed at this meeting. And I would suggest that we go to a military volunteer basis if we don't have enough of the other type.
I got us another volunteer.
Does any who? Oh yes, another perennial. I was wondering if anybody knew of a Winter Texan who will be coming back, who might be willing to serve.
Could you tell us a little bit about
Oh, what they have to do? The first thing they have to do is find people who are willing to serve. Then they have to make sure that they are, the people willing to serve are actually lot owners, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They have to make sure that they're certified to be. According to Texas law, you do not have to be a member in good standing, however.
It's a very easy committee that does not involve all that much time or effort. As Myrna said, it's just simply a matter of taking the volunteers and looking for more as you may desire, and making sure that they're members, property owner members of the association, and have never been, you don't have to do a background check, but the only disqualification is if they were to have been convicted of a felony or a crime of moral turpitude.
Do they have to be 21 years old?
No. I think 18, I believe. Chuck?
I'll serve when I come in.
I've got it. I can't read it. I've got it.
Okay. Just a minute. Just a minute.
I got.
Steve Fox.
Oh, great.
I got him if I.
Steve Cross?
Fox with two X's.
Did you say you were going to?
I've got the duties right here.
Okay. We're going to read from the bylaws here.
Two X's.
Charles Lapisa.
Okay.
Is this?
I knew it, but I didn't.
Okay, the duties of the committee members are to A, search for and accept all applications from persons thought to be interested in and qualified for serving on the association board of directors. Certify that each candidate meets the qualifications necessary to serve on the board. Accept all certified candidates who meet the published deadline for completion of applications to appear on the ballot. Establish reasonable deadlines for applications and submission of materials to be mailed with the ballot, and submit the list of certified candidates' names to the Board of Directors at their regular January meeting. At this time, the order in which the candidates will appear on the ballot will be determined by lot. So that's the committee members do.
Go ahead.
How do you sign up to be a committee member?
Just say you're interested and write down your name.
I'm interested. I'm Jennifer Lake.
Yes.
And
Stacy Sedino also.
Okay. If you're on the committee, that doesn't mean you can't run. We'd like you to run. The reason I'm saying that is there are 3 women who are going off the board. If they run again, planning on it? Just kidding. I don't want to make anybody say so now. I'm just saying that you're going to lose all the women on the board in March. Yes, Chuck.
I'm sorry, I may have misunderstood. Did you say if you're on the committee, you cannot run?
No, you
Yes, you can.
You can, okay.
you
That's all.
definitely can run.
Thank you.
It's just that we need you to be on the committee. You have certain other things you need to do. Okay.
You've got 7 members on this committee right now. Eight.
There's nothing.
I've got Judy, I've got Garland, I've got Sharon, Steve Fox, Chuck, Stacy Sedino, and Jennifer Link.
Is there?
Steve Diller.
Is
Mr. Diller.
Steve here?
No, but he left a message on my voicemail.
and then he sent an email just in case. Okay. You want to hold us to 5 members? Is that what you're saying?
It's only supposed to be 5.
Well, we're only required to appoint 5.
Yeah, there's no limitation, it doesn't say.
No, there's no limitation, you just need 5. Just says you have to appoint 5.
So we have
They have to be
a,
lot owners.
yes, we'll certify that before we do anything.
It says the committee shall be comprised of 5 members, period.
Do you have a problem with 7?
Okay, does anybody want to drop out?
The bylaws have a problem with it, I know.
No, it doesn't say only 5. I just think that we,
There've been years when I couldn't get 5, so
Take the top 5 then.
I think it's wonderful.
I think there's no reason that we can't go ahead, do you? Ann?
More than
I do, but I, will step back. The wording says that the committee shall be comprised of 5 members. It doesn't say 5 or more. It says 5. And maybe one of the things they were thinking of when that was done that way is that the larger a committee gets, the more difficult it can be to operate at times.
I agree.
But, I'm happy with all these wonderful folks that are stepping forward now, but that's what the bylaws say.
How many of you would be interested in running the committee members?
I'm
What?
sorry.
Running what?
Would any of the committee members, would you be interested in running?
For the board? Yeah, I am.
Okay, then, Jeff, why don't you drop off the committee?
Okay,
Because that would make it easy to,
okay.
anybody else? Sharon and Judy, since the two of you are always, either one of you want to?
I don't want to run for the board, no.
No, I'm saying, do you still want to work on the committee?
Yeah.
Okay, no problem, both of you.
You can take me off. Let's do 5.
Will it? You two volunteer for everything, so maybe that's good. Are you going to run again?
Who do we end up with for the 5? then?
You still have 6.
We still have 6.
I'd leave it at that. I'm sure we'll lose somebody.
Leave it at 6.
Well, in case someone drops off.
Unless you want to make a motion that we have only 5.
I'll make a motion that we have only 5. You could have a 6 as an alternative.
Alternate?
Well,
Alternate
the
to step
motion-
forward if someone else can't make it.
You need to,
But the 2 ladies that came in at the end there, maybe they're together, they could almost operate as one. I don't know.
You have 5 willing people here.
That's true. He wants.
Yeah, I'm told there's 6.
He wants you to.
Yeah, there are 6 names. I'm saying 5 of them are present.
yes, but Mr. Diller
I
made
want to
this.
know why Mr.
Well, I think you're talking about Steve Diller. I know he's not popular, but after all, he was the only one who stepped forward and came
He was the first one.
first one
I'd like to know.
to volunteer.
I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
dance,
that's
I
it.
was at your students.
Okay.
Okay, go with it.
Wait a minute.
Disgusting.
You made a motion, but you started losing it.
I made a motion that we appoint the 5 members as regular members of the committee that have volunteered. I do not have all their names, but it would consist of Steve Diller, I believe, Judy Winchell,
Sharon.
Sharon somebody,
Sharon Gregor. Sharon somebody. Steve Fox.
and an alternate 6th member,
Got Steve Fox over here.
Steve? Who?
Mr. Fox, along with,
Okay, Steve Fox.
Jennifer Link.
How about Stacy Toby? Toby was the last. Todino was the last person to volunteer and have her be the alternate.
okay. Did you understand that?
No, I didn't hear
The last person to volunteer would be the alternate.
it. Okay,
My
who
word,
is
we've
that?
never had any,
That's fair.
Stacy Todino.
Steve.
I mean, she can still attend.
Yeah.
Kind of like jury duty.
Very, very good.
okay, now do you want to say the names?
No, why don't you say them? I still don't have them all. I've got
Monique has.
Monique has.
Well, it should be part of the motion if you're going to make one.
Well, add those names to the motion.
Okay, I have that, Dan moved to appoint 5 members, Steve Diller, Judy Winchell, Sharon Gregor, Steve Fox, Jennifer Link, with 1 alternate, Stacy Chidino, members of the search and certification committee.
Wonderful. Perfect.
I don't have a second.
All right, thank you.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second.
I know. Are you calling the, I guess you couldn't. Anybody want to call the question? Are we ready for that? All right, all in favor? And no opposed? Consideration for approval of FY 2018 budget. And I should point out this is the operating budget. Do we have,
I would make a motion that we approve the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2018 budget as submitted by Mr. Lawrence for both Fort Clark Springs Association and the Los Morris Corporation.
I second the motion.
I have no comment.
oh, okay. Ann, did you have any comments? Bill? I should point out that we don't do this often, but we had a workshop yesterday. It's not really a workshop, we had an executive session wherein we asked all the questions that we needed to. And there should be a copy of this. One copy back there?
It hasn't been approved yet, so as soon as
So it's not out, okay.
I would comment that it's a balanced budget for the association, and Los Morris Corporation is broke down into two entities, the lounge, which is budgeted as being revenue neutral, balanced, and the pro shop, which is included there because of the alcohol sales of beer, which is proposed to show $14,700 and some odd dollar profit for the coming year. And so both budgets seem to be conservative and modest in comparison to the recent years over the past few years.
Any other comments?
No, my only comment would be that the budget also reflects that it is, there have been some expense reductions reflected in the budget as well, so we tried to cover all the bases.
And we're increasing things like advertising budgets so that we can get the word out about this heaven that Chuck talked about.
Need more angels.
I think we've got some angels out here, I do. If you just take Jan Metcalf, we got an angel right there. She comes to every meeting. And you've got to be so up to here with meetings. And then you're a member of the Rio Grande. And so this is an angel, I don't care what you say. We've got others out there, but I just wanted to mention that. Okay. Someone want to call the question, or are we ready? All in favor? No opposed? Under old unfinished business, we took 2 votes by email. One of them was to excuse the absence of Ann for June, I believe it was, right? And then we have another one that we didn't put on the because I didn't have the date. So we'll do that again by email if it's all right. It's just an excused absence for a director who's been gone. This has already been done that we've got here. It was either May or June, I'm sorry.
think it was August.
She will have August.
I was also absent in August.
Yeah, she was absent in August.
We did the excused absence by email for her.
June.
Right. And that was,
June.
I'm recording what was done by email. Now, if you'd like to do the one for August, because it's routine, we can do it right now if you like.
Yeah, let's do that. Get
All
her
right.
done. Get her done.
Okay, I move that we approve the excused absence for August. Date was what? August?
The August board meeting.
August 19th, 2017.
Second.
All in favor? You can vote for yourself over there. Secondly, we authorized the first payment to the Sanford Waterworks, something like that. Sanford Waterworks for the beginning of the commissary French drain. Any other comments on that? Okay, again, it's already been done. Do we have an RV park maintenance update?
Well, throughout the summer, we've been reporting on the many changes and renovations and repairs and whatnot that we've been doing at the RV park. We're winding that up, and by the end of next week, I think all of the electrical issues will be resolved. We're having to coordinate that with Rio Grande, but as soon as we do, it should be done by the end of next month, and then next week, and ready for folks to return. So, aside from that should be wrapping it up.
Richard, you happen to know, maybe Sandy or Bill, are all of these sites going to be changed to 50 amp?
That's what I'm referring to.
Okay.
Not all of them still have a small one, but nowadays the big ones are necessary. I can remember when I was out looking for 50 amp back 12 years ago. Yes. We've done quite a few, but they're not all done, right?
Pardon me?
We have not replaced all of them with 50 amps, have we?
We're by the end of next week, we should have all those issues resolved.
Okay. Has anybody gone by or looked at it? I mean, people told me last year that it was horrible, that they hadn't. Has anybody looked at it?
Talking about the RV park?
Yes.
I have. I was really disappointed that the pads hadn't been done. They don't have any concrete, they don't have any caliche pads. When it rains, that's just mud out there. Other than that, it looks clean. It does need some weed eating around some of the rigs that are stored out there on the lots. But I mean, it looks nice and clean. It does need weed eating.
That's a constant.
Yeah, around the rigs that are parked.
There are several sites of permanence
Yeah.
that aren't so neat,
Right, I mean, correct. Those
that are
are
spread out. One, I think, spreads out over about 3 lots.
Well, dang, I thought it was looking good.
It is.
Okay. That's enough for me. Is Price here still? Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize that you've been trying to get us to talk to you for months, actually.
I appreciate y'all's patience. There's always something that has come up here or there, so I haven't been able to meet it. I think we started in July trying to get here, so. But I appreciate y'all's patience. I am Price Chambers. I'm in Troop 563, your Boy Scout troop here in Brackett. I'm your Scoutmaster. I brought the senior patrol leader. You can ask him anything you want. I can tell you he'll freeze up on you if you ask him a question. Last time he had to publicly speak, he introduced himself, said his brother had something to tell everybody, and he sat back down. So I'll warn you on that. We have asked for a donation from the fort. I think y'all wanted on some clarification on what it's for. I didn't realize when I became a scoutmaster that part of that duty was a professional beggar. I spend a lot of time begging. Scouting has it's almost gotten out of hand in the cost. Okay, I've talked to gentlemen, and there's a lot of old scouters or ex-scouters or whatever you want to call on this fort, and I've talked to some of them. And this past year, we went to Buffalo Trail Scout Ranch. I talked to a gentleman last month or a couple months ago that had gone when he was 16, which was 50, 60 years ago, and they paid $11. Okay, this past year it cost me $350 a scout. We paid right at $1,800 to take them to a summer camp for a week. That's 4 boys. I've got 3 more signing up. Basically, we paid about $500 to go to winter camp last year. For the 3 that's supposed to sign up. We're going to be spending right at about $1,000 to get them to winter camp. They're extremely active in this town, in this community. They do commodities. They also spend a lot of time, some of what you were talking about with community council. They have a backpacking merit badge that they have to earn. They have a hiking merit badge they have to earn, and there's a national outdoor award. In order to earn them 3, they have to hike over 200 miles. Okay, they have routes measured on this fort. If anybody wants to know the exact distance between point A and point B, Brady can probably tell them because he's hiked it several times trying to get those awards. But they never enter the brush out here without a trash bag, without a little pocket saw, or without lopping. And so they are doing some cleaning, and they usually come out with a full bag of trash when they come out. They've done 2 historic trails merit badges on this fort. They initially, at the laundry, the old laundry facility, initially they cleared about 50, 60 yards in from the road. And then I think it was Community Council, the Historic Society, or somebody that went in and cleared the rest of it. They have painted at their own cost the marker down at the Red Bridge several times. So they're extremely active. I can't tell you, if you want to know exactly what the donation that I'm asking for is going to, I can't tell you that. I can tell you it'll go anything from helping a scout finish out his uniform to paying for a merit badge or to paying for a summer camp. If you want to donate money and designate what that money's for, education, sending a scout to camp, that's fine. I can designate and I will earmark those funds for that purpose. So, but that's basically, I'm just here asking for a donation because we spend a lot of time asking for donations. Outside what they do, some of y'all see them down at Duck Inn. Most of the fun days, they work down there, they work a concession stand to try to earn money.
Do they make any money there?
I can honestly tell you because we don't really care who knows. The first month that we worked down there, we made $132. The last month that we worked down there, we made $87, I think. So it's something. It keeps the boys busy. I was surprised because there was a conflict, or I thought there was a conflict, and a lot of people don't understand Scouts is boy-led. So I'm here speaking to y'all. That young man right there makes the decisions, okay, with the rest of the boys. Now, I just facilitate what they want, and I keep them from doing anything really crazy. You know, they were wanting a summer camp to Australia, and we had to relook at that whole deal. But that young man back there runs it. And I just lost my train of thought on the question you asked me, so I apologize.
I asked you if you made any money at the Duck Inn, and you answered that.
And what I was where I was going with that is because of the conflict, I'd ask them, do y'all want to continue to do this, or do you want to drop out so somebody else can do it? And they said they don't care if other people do it. You know, they don't really mind, but they want to continue to do it. They really enjoy it. They enjoy the interaction with the people. Sure. I get it.
Is that money then that they make down there used for the types of things that you're wanting from us?
Absolutely, absolutely. Y'all have I know y'all have this big giant budget, and in that budget's about 17 or 20 different line items, okay? My budget consists of one bucket, and everything goes into that bucket, everything they need comes out of that bucket. But like I said, we were given a donation by an entity here in town, and they designated they wanted it for educational purposes only, and so that's what that money was used for. It was used to buy merit badge pamphlets so they could do stuff.
That's kind of a broad, education is pretty broad.
Yes, ma'am.
Going to the branch would be part of education, I would think.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you have an amount that you wanted to ask for?
Ma'am, initially, we had asked for $500.
And would you take less?
Absolutely. We'll take any.
We're in the last month of the fiscal year, and I don't know if we have any money left to give.
So if you want me to come back next month, I'll be happy.
Actually,
We may not have any money.
actually, that might be better.
Even a small amount?
If you vote for that today, I'll find it. But if you came back next month, it may be a little easier.
Well, I'm really not wanting to spend FY18 until we're in 8.
I'll be honest with you, Ms. Kessler, the $500, where that number came from, was because that's what y'all had donated to 4-H. That was just the only reason the $500 was asked for. By all means, we would take less. We'd take anything.
Well, I understand.
I think money is tight all over here
Yes,
too.
sir.
And I would just throw out on the table as a suggestion to think about, not as a motion, that we think about maybe for now cutting that in half and making it payable in October on our new fiscal year rather than this fiscal year.
I would personally give you some of that. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. If y'all don't have any more questions for me, I just want to thank the board for their consideration.
Thanks for coming. Did we have thanks for coming 3 times.
And I'll be right back there if you do come up with any questions.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say thank you for your presentation.
Yes, sir.
How many are in your troop, by the way? I didn't get that answer.
Currently, I have 4. I've got 3 signing up, so by the next month, I'll have 7 total.
And how old are they?
The youngest one is, the requirements that they have to be 10 and have passed the 5th grade, or 11 to 18. I have an 11-year-old, I've got twin 10-year-olds signing up that are homeschooled. Then I have a 14-year-old and 2 15-year-olds.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Actually, that seems like a fairly small troop. But again, I said what I
Does
thought.
to me too.
$250 and give it in October.
Do you want to make a motion?
Seems nobody else is coming forth with an idea, so I'll make a motion that we donate $250 to the Boy Scouts and that donation be done in October, our new fiscal year.
Second motion.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Okay. I have, under new business, have already revisited the board committee structure. If you were with me at the time, we forgot to put on the new business, the adult center petition for an air AC unit. Okay?
Sorry, Mark. I have a issue that was brought to my attention by a member that I'd like to put forth to you, and you can decide where you want to handle it, if you want to handle it.
Do you mind if we discuss the air conditioning petition first?
No, I don't mind at all.
That's what I just said.
Yeah, well,
I didn't get your attention.
I'll be
so.
here. I'm retired.
As are we all. Okay. We received a petition. We cannot deal with it today, but I see, are you here basically on that by any chance? No?
I am. No, she doesn't.
Yeah, I know you are. Okay, go ahead a bit. We can't deal with it, but go ahead and say where the petition came from, if you would.
Well, I wanted to let everybody know that there's no AC and there's no heat in the gym. And I asked people to sign up to see if there was any interest to go to the board. And so within 3 weeks, I had 50 people sign up saying, yeah, please.
So your petition has 50 names.
Yep.
And they're both sexes.
Oh, of course.
Just checking.
And there's 5 guests in there as well as 45 members, 46 now.
Okay. This will be dealt with along with some other air conditioning, but I just wanted to be sure that we had mentioned it, because you did ask last time to be put on the next board, and I forgot it. But it is going to be dealt with some other things, and if we get it, you'll be happy, and if we don't, you'll complain. I thought we put some heaters over in there.
They're no good.
They're no good?
No, neither are the fans. There's a lot of them that are out of
Yes, I know about the fans. You're just moving hot air. But I really did think that the heaters might work.
See, the problem is, one room is 900 square feet. The other one is 450 square feet. And the ceilings are twice as high as this one. So there's no way.
No argument from me.
So
I have been there in both the hot and the cold, so I understand. All right, we have that taken care of. Now I'm ready for you.
I have been reflecting on what I wanted to bring up, and it has to do with an issue I think that involves both an employee and a member, and would be best served to be handled in the executive session. It's not a real big deal, but it's a minor hiccup problem that needs to be straightened out.
Okay, Berta?
Okay, when I came last week, on the back table back there was a Loss Morris Corporation profit and loss statement. And my question was, on the fourth column, there is a 21,000, somewhere right there, payroll expense as unclassified. And I just wanted to know what that meant.
Can you show it to him? Because
I think I understand what the question is, and the same question is what I asked of the accountant.
I don't want to take very long to respond.
A short response is that has to do with, as I was understanding it, that has to do with salaries that were paid in the first part of the fiscal year prior to the opening of the restaurant, the phone company. That's my recollection of what he told me.
Did you understand the answer?
Yes. And one other thing is on where it says deli, there's a $22,000 loss. I thought we were out of the restaurant business.
We are.
Okay. But where did that come from?
That comes from the beginning of the fiscal year.
Of the first part of the fiscal year.
Remember, this is the total
I thought
year.
it had been longer than that.
Oh, no. No.
Thank you.
We go under fast. We shouldn't be in the restaurant business. Okay. That's all I had was Berta. And any other one want to jump up and say something? Oh, thank goodness.
Rental properties, workshop?
Oh, yes. I wanted to wait until we were into October, but that came from thinking that we might have some winter Texans who are actually renting, because it seems like we have two kinds of rental properties, and one is the really nice ones for a lot of money, and the other ones are really not nice ones for a lot less money. So I thought if we got into the time of year when there might be some more people, and besides that, you're going to have a vacation coming up. I'm just kidding. I would like to wait until October, but you're right, it needs to be done soon. Do you want to do anything? Just let me ask you. Anybody? We had the renters workshop, and we need some more. We agreed on that. Anybody have thoughts? No? Well, we'll be in touch. How's that? I would like it to be in October because we get possibly more renters, but we certainly will get people who are renting at that point or expecting renters.
Question.
Yes, ma'am.
You were going to read the hotel report and you sort of got sidetracked.
No,
You never did
I
that.
said we will in the future.
Oh, we will in the future. Okay.
We'll make that decision as a board whether or not we're going to, have Chada do the same thing that Diana does. But
We'd like to know, that's
I say
one
again?
of the things that does make money, so we'd like to know what it is doing.
sure, that was my thought too.
Yeah.
Okay, as long as we're agreeing, the world is good.
Amen.
Okay. It is what time?
10:35.
Wow. 10:35, and we're going into executives. I'm sorry, Chuck.
I'm sorry, I just want to throw something out there, for y'all to consider.
Excuse me.
That was really disheartening.
Just a second.
Hey, folks, could y'all hold on a minute? Thank you.
I don't think.
I just want to throw something out there. I don't know how y'all felt, but that was really disheartening to hear that we're not going to tentatively, we're not going to have a Fort Clark Days for 2018.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I'm really disappointed in that. And I think that...
Did you want to volunteer?
Well, I'll do anything I can to help with it.
I know,
Because
but-
I really believe in it. And I'd like to put it out for y'all to consider, okay, if we can't get these actors that we usually get to come in, so what? We can still do something. And I think it's important to the fort. It's important to the members. I know it's very important to me. I enjoy it every year. And we have vendors out there that look forward to signing up each year. So we know we've got that. I would volunteer in this aspect. If you would get someone to run a booth, one of my hobbies, I'm a gourmet. I'll pay for it and I'll smoke 2 pork roast for pulled pork sandwiches, and I'll pay for it, and y'all can have all the money. I don't care about that. If you get someone to run it and put out some sandwiches.
I need to stop you. The place you really need to take this is to community council. And I think one of the biggest problems is that we didn't have volunteers. Some people were not well. Some people had problems otherwise. But the point is, they've already missed the...
I understood the dates to get the donations out. But there's people with legs, and we can go to the different distributors out there and beg for money.
If you want...
And I'll help with that.
If you want to get involved, I would recommend that you
I'll do that.
talk to Chuck.
I will.
Thank you.
Thank you. I actually let us out at 10:35.
very smart. She's very entertaining.
Give me the time I put away my.
12:12.
It's 12:12. I'm calling the meeting back to order from executive session. The business that was taken care of during the executive session was, number one, we approved meeting on the 26th for the bylaws workshop at 1:30 in the afternoon. We received a check from Porter's. We are ready to make a motion on that.
Yes, we received a check from Porter Insurance for $3,990, releasing them from further payment in our claim. So I will now move to approve signing the release form, releasing the check to Fort Clark Springs, and finalizing our claim with Porter Insurance.
Second.
Any more discussion? Actually, Ann wanted to. I'm just kidding. Any more discussion? All in favor? We discussed some member issues. Those were not resolved, so we won't go into what those were. Mostly private at the moment. We talked about an equestrian committee of the board, in which we would try to help the horse club be more inclusive, as well as provide them with services maybe that we are not already providing. This is still up in the air, but it's under discussion. I don't think we resolved that, but we have some input for them to react to. Was there anything else? We forgot to mention that Monique went to a, well, the name of the subject.
Texas Business Conference.
It was the Texas Business Conference put on by the Texas Workforce in Texas, obviously.
Workforce Commission, yeah.
Yes, and it was one that was based on HR duties.
Human resources.
Human resources, thank you. Human resources duties. It talked about payroll laws, being able to do background checks as well as drug testing, and policy handbook information changes, requirements, etc.
And we'll hear about those in more detail as the year goes along.
Absolutely.
Unless there are questions right now, and I don't think there are. All right. Give me another time.
12:16.
It's 12:16. I'm adjourning the meeting. Did I get it all?
Yeah, I think so.
What did I miss? Oh. We'll assume that everybody will know that. I did.
It's a closed meeting.
Yeah. October 10th, yeah. But then I didn't even say the next regular meeting. Some days my mind functions not at all.
Sorry.
I went over those, remember you